Happy Friday. I come to you with a video. Today I'm talking a little bit about myself, how I started Zakiyyah Luxury Organics and the driving force behind it. Now, let's just start with the fact that I am a kitchen alchemist. I have a love for fragrance and a love for healing, but it didn't start on its own. My family has been a major inspiration in the process. My mother, for one, she is a true beauty. Very into natural beauty growing up. She wasn't one to wear much makeup, but she had to make sure and have her dark lipstick, but she always made sure that she looked and was well kept. She would moisturize her skin with butters and oils. She always was, dressed on point. She had her own fashion statement. She never followed trends. She rocked a natural afro. And you could just see that she really loved herself. And for me growing up, and I had my little sister, she would always encourage us, look in the mirror before you leave the house. Always check, make sure, your face is clean, your feet are well moisturized. She would make sure and instill in us, you need to take care of yourself. You need to look at yourself in the mirror before you leave the house. That was her thing. She was very artistic, very into the arts, into music. She's a singer, she's a drummer. She's got us into like drama and dancing and acting and everything that has to do with the arts and culture. My father was an architect and a musician. He still is. But we would see him at home drafting at the table plans for work or working aggressively on the piano to come up with another musical piece for another gig that was coming up. My grandparents, from my dad's side, my grandmother made beautiful floral arrangements that she created by hand out of these molds that she made, and she had a very lucrative business doing this. My grandfather was a cobbler. He made shoes. And he had a successful business doing this. He supported all his family and children with this business. My grandmother on my mother's side, although she didn't have her own business, she grew herbs in the back of her garden. And if we were sick, she went out to her garden and got whatever herbs. If she was cooking, it was herbs. She went out to her backyard again, and she used her backyard herbs for so much. And this, today has stuck with me, and I've really used what I've learned and seen from her in terms of that. But this was what it was like growing up. I have aunts and uncles that are musicians, that are cooks, that are singers, that are stylists, and they're very creative. So I've been surrounded all my life with creatives, and this is a big part of who I am today. Now, I originally went to school for fashion, and fashion has really helped me in terms of the visual aesthetic of my beauty line. In terms of fashion, you make collections and they go with the season, but it's almost the same for the beauty business in terms of you make products to suit the season. So in the winter, you may have to make sure you have your creams and your heavy butters, and the scents are, very grounding and warming. And then in the summer, it's very light, and you add some florals, and your scents are like orange and lime and lemongrass, and they're very happy scents. So it's very similar in that way. I've worked what have I done? I've done retail. I have done teaching assistant at the International Academy of Design. I've been a design assistant, and a lot of those things that I've done in my past have really helped me in the business that I have today. One thing that really stuck out is when I worked a short period. It was a very short period of time. I was just sort of helping out at this natural salon. But it really brought me back to what it was like growing up, like seeing my mom like really encouraging us to take care and love ourselves. These men and women came to the salon and they were taking care of themselves in a naturally, they had their froze and they loved it, and they were taking care of this, and they were very loving and just caring and I really liked their energy. And so it really stuck with me. And at that time I had my hair was permed, and I decided that, I'm going to cut my hair. I'm going to cut it all off, and I'm going to go natural, and I'm going to do this whole natural journey and really go back to what I knew growing up. And so I cut off my hair. It was such a liberating experience, guys. I cut my hair, you know, I was in the shower and I'm like rubbing my hands through the curls and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know my curls were so nice. I love it. And so it brought me to this journey where I was then now searching for products that I can use for my hair. And I would go into the natural shops and I would look at the ingredients and then I would try out different products. And after a time I was like, oh, I can make this stuff. You know, the creative person in me was like, you can make this stuff. And so I've included what I've learned through my grandmother in terms of herbs and things that are beneficial for the body and the skin, and I brought in my love of fragrance, and I meshed the both together. And so it's just been a truly wonderful experience. And so I was making products for my friends and my family, and they were like, you know what, you should really look at selling this stuff. And I'm like, you know what, maybe that might not be so bad. So not too long after I started selling it, and you know, I've gotten such positive feedback. And so then I've been going through I was going through this journey where I wanted to really give back. You know, I was doing this whole self-awareness and learning about myself and this whole self-love and self-care. And I was like, I want to give back in some way. And my immediate thing was to give back to women because I learned so much from my mother. And so this has been another big driving force behind Zakiyyah Luxury Organics. This is creating products where women can take care of themselves and force them to, you know, while they're creaming and moisturizing their skin, to force them to look into the mirror and see that they're beautiful and they deserve the very best. And I just love what I do. I am so grateful for all those that have supported me along the way, that's tell me, you know, keep on going, keep doing what you do. We love your products. It keeps me creating. And so I just love it. This is my journey. And you know what? Thank you guys so much for listening. I can go on and on and on about my journey, but you know, I'm going to stop here. But so thank you for listening. I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week and a beautiful weekend. And I will see you on the next video. Okay? Take care of yourselves. Love yourselves. You are beautiful. And I'll see you on the next video.